Now at 7 o'clock, we're tracking a trio of local wildfires, including one just outside Salem that started after a crash took out power lines. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is going to join us here with the latest on evacuation orders and the effort to put this fire out.
Plus, PGE is using AI to help its meteorologists track wildfire risk and where fires could spread. Chris McGinnis will break down how the new tool works. And
China Green's favorite story of the morning, our local take on National Kitten Day. Oh, I think he's talking to you. Feed me. We are live this morning at the Oregon Humane Society. Yep, we are celebrating National Kitten Day, and we're also providing you with all the information on how you can get your hands on one of the adorable little kittens that are now up for adoption. Sunrise, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney, and we are not alone. We are joined by these two guys. Chris McGinnis on traffic, Rod Hill with the weather. Rod, what's your forecast looking like?
Well, it's 7 o'clock. It's now light enough we can start seeing the visible satellite picture, which gives us a great view of what's going on. And it does show that overall here in Western Oregon, it is mostly cloudy. We've seen some breaks in the cloud cover where some spots have looked quite sunny, but more than that, we are seeing cloudiness. Here's Salem, 65. Downtown Portland was one of those spots that was looking pretty bright, but now the clouds have kind of resettled in. We're at 63 degrees. This is a day that will become mostly sunny as we progress. I have a 71 at noon and a very comfortable 79 at 5 o'clock. Chris, no watches or alerts for fire danger today or thunderstorm activity. That's great news.
Yeah, that is good news. All right, Rod, I'm going to get you back to this traffic alert in Washington County. Southwest Farmington Road remains closed at this point because of an ongoing fatal crash investigation. More on that coming up in a minute, but in terms of your traffic impact, the road is closed, Farmington that is, between Jacktown Road and Clark Hill Road. So your traffic solution for now, Rosedale to the north or Tile Flat Road down to the south. All right, let's get you up to Clark County, up near 179th. And there you can see southbound I-5 zipping right along. I bring this up because the exit ramp to northbound 179th is going to be closed starting, well, right now for about 5 hours as they continue, WashDOT that is, continues installing their wrong-way driver detection technology on that exit ramp. Our little farther south near Discovery Trail and then pushing down towards SR 500. That's our first significant freeway slow spot of the morning. And right now, Drew, in China, that's just shy of 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge.
Thank you, Chris. We have breaking news right now to tell you about. Police in Washington County are investigating a crash on Farmington Road that left one person dead. They said this happened at 2:30 this morning on Southwest Farmington Road. When police got there, they found one car had veered off the road and hit a tree. The driver was found dead. They are investigating to determine what caused that crash. And as Chris just mentioned, Southwest Jacktown Road and Southwest Clark Hill Road will be closed while they investigate.
Local wildfire season, one of our big news headlines this morning. We're focusing on 3 newer fires, including one that started yesterday in Marion County, just south of Salem.
Now, that one has forced some people to evacuate their homes. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from the newsroom. So, Thomas, what else do we know here?
Well, Drew and China, crews stayed throughout the night on scene monitoring for hot spots down there in Marion County. The fire now seems to be contained. Still, neighbors are watching the wind closely. A small area with just a couple of homes are still under evacuation. All other orders have been lifted. Sheriff's officials say the grass fire near Gath Road off Turner Road in Marion County started just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon after a car crashed into a power pole. The fire grew to around 30 acres and destroyed 2 outbuildings, but no homes. A firefighter was hospitalized. It's unclear how they're doing right now. And while conditions have improved, neighbors continue to eye this fire closely.
We have our car packed up with clean underwear, clean shirts, and clean clothes, and all of our pictures ready to go.
I mean, it's kind of scary, but just because I got 3 boys, you know, and the one is just a newborn.
Just a tense situation down there in Marion County. Now across the Columbia River, the Skamania County Sheriff's Office is mopping up a fire near Dog Mountain. It burned south of the Dog Mountain trailhead and shut down one lane of State Route 14 last night. Nobody was evacuated. And in southern Oregon, the elk fire in Klamath County has grown to about 1,000 acres now. It is still 0% contained. The Oregon State Fire Marshal says the fire is threatening homes in Lake and Klamath County. Governor Tina Kotek has also mobilized state resources to help local crews fight that fire down there in southern Oregon. China?
Thomas, thank you. And it is that time of year when Multnomah County and firefighters start cracking down on homeowners who let their yards grow out of control to prevent the risk for spreading wildfires. So court enforcers say they don't necessarily drive around looking for out of control fields and yards, but they do follow up on complaints made by concerned neighbors. Multnomah County doesn't have a set of maximum height for grass in rural areas, but most cities do. The limit is generally about 8 inches tall. Firefighters say it's not just grasses that are a concern here. They're also urging homeowners to trim trees, keep bark away from homes, and clear out gutters.
What we would like to do is just be proactive, encourage folks that have fields like this to just cut it down on their own, avoid neighbor conflict.
If you are concerned about a neighbor's property, you can contact your local code enforcement office to make a complaint.
Local power companies have to make sure their equipment doesn't spark a fire. So with that in mind, Portland General Electric is using new tools like artificial intelligence to stay ahead of the threat. Chris McGinnis is back in the studio here to cover this story. So Chris, what do you have for us?
Well, Drew, PGE maintains more than 30,000 miles of power lines. Now, as conditions grow riskier, the utility is deploying real-time weather monitoring and launching its first ever AI fire modeling platform to help forecast when and where power shutoffs might be needed. When wildfire risk rises, timing matters.
So we've invested in a lot of tools here at PGE to really help get that big picture of how weather will impact our assets.
Portland General Electric has a new AI model to help their meteorologists stay one step ahead. How new?
This year.
This new AI fire modeling platform uses satellite data to find hotspots, terrain and fuel moisture data to track how combustible the surrounding landscape is, coupled with weather forecasts to simulate if a fire were to ignite, where might it spread, up to 12 hours in advance.
If that is all conducive and if a fire started, where would that fire go? And is that going to impact any of our power lines? Do we need to potentially shut that one off?
Forecasters can customize this new AI model for hotter temperatures, drier fuels, or stronger wind, and then recalculate the spread potential.
And with this, we could overlay our power lines and see if anything is in the way, basically, of this potential fire spread. So we would know that we may need to proactively de-energize a line for safety.
The modeling is powered in part by data from 92 weather stations across the region, tracking temperature, wind, humidity, and fuel conditions. PGE is constantly adding to those.
And that is to monitor these conditions and then look at the outages that may have occurred.
Historically, given similar weather conditions.
And then we can, really give like an outage forecast based on that.
PGE's in-house meteorologists use the AI tool alongside daily coordination with the National Weather Service and fire agencies.
We will talk pretty much every day, especially in the middle of fire season. We are on coordination calls with them. We are a public safety partner of theirs, and we are always have an open line of communications.
And while red flag warnings still guide major decisions, this platform gives PGE added flexibility when they see localized threats to their power lines.
It's just really getting the subject matter expertise to line up with, the company's knowledge of where their risk is and what they need to be aware of.
So the new modeling system is just one of several tools added to their wildfire strategy this year. Combined with field sensors and a growing weather data network, the utility, PGE, says it's aiming to make faster and more informed decisions when conditions turn dangerous. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Cute. And we are live this morning at the Oregon Humane Society's Northeast Portland Shelter for National Kitten Day. We are looking at Randy, Gerald, and a cat we don't know the name of.
The other cat's kind of sneaking in. Oh, you want to be front and center, don't you, buddy?
Veronica? Is that what I'm seeing on its neck? Monica or Veronica? Veronica. Look at us. Deductive reasoning. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. Veronica. What was the other two? Randy, Gerald.
Yeah.
We're going to take a timeout from your. Whoa!
A little right-to punch.
That was abusive on Sunrise. All right, take a timeout. We're going to show some viewer photos now because we did ask our viewers to share their pictures of cats and kittens on this National Kitten Day. This is Will and Grace. Aww. A good pair there. Simon and Roger. There they are. Look at those two.
I'm Simon.
And I'm Roger. And then we've got Action Jackson. Jackson making an appearance on the Sunrise Show. Man, so many viewers have sent us photos of their cats and kittens this morning. We will try to get as many on as we can between now and 9 o'clock. If you want to join the party, that's the number to text. 503-226-5088. Text photos of your cats and kittens on this National Kitten Day.
Keep coming. Rodale, you have a cat? You don't have a cat.
No, Grandma Kim has Coco.
Coco.
Coco lives downstairs with my wife's folks, and then Maximus, the golden retriever, lives upstairs.
Who is the alpha?
Coco is the smarter of the two.
Per usual.
And does a pretty good job of kind of knowing where Maximus is at all times. Maximus will chase the cat, so yeah, it doesn't work out so well.
Does Maximus know you think he's not as smart as the cat?
Well, I go out of my way to say you're my big, strong, brave boy trying to build his self-esteem, you know? Yeah.
All right. Forecast time.
79 today. This is going to be a really comfortable day. We're going out of our way this morning to start alerting you of heat coming next week. So highlighted in red, already issuing a KGW weather impact alert for growing confidence that next Tuesday and Wednesday, at the very least, we'll see the hottest weather that we have seen so far this year. Now, we've been to 96 once, which is the hottest we've been. We're going 98 Tuesday, 101 Wednesday. It does appear, this is next week, that the following Thursday would actually drop back down into the 80s potentially. But here's your early warning to kind of plan next week's activities around that heat of Tuesday and Wednesday. We are really quiet out there this morning. This is going to build in. Here it comes. This is the visible satellite picture. 7 o'clock hour is the first hour. You can start to see it. And you see there's a little sliver of clearness outside of Woodburn and in parts of it looks like down toward Oregon City outside of Portland. But otherwise, it's pretty cloudy. And we do have clear skies east of the Cascades, immediately into central Oregon. And we do have a fog advisory up and down the coast. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Dense fog, probably some misty spots to be found this morning, 56 degrees. That advisory for dense fog is up until 11 a.m. That's the only advisory of any kind. Generally, this turns into a mostly sunny day with really comfortable weather statewide and dry weather coming. Here's a look at the clouds over downtown Portland this morning. 63 degrees, really been a varying situation skywise in the last couple of hours. 64 down in Wilsonville. Good morning to you. Winds are generally northwest, no more than 10. 64 degrees down in Albany. Here is the comfy map for later today with most areas becoming mostly sunny as we progress through this Thursday. 85 over in Bend, 83 out in the Dalles. West winds in the Gorge, but generally in that 15 to 25 mile per hour category. And again, as I showed you earlier, really comfortable day, 79. We'll turn up the heat to about 88 degrees tomorrow and getting into Saturday of your weekend. That's your update.
Rod, thanks for that. Back out to that traffic alert in Washington County. A reminder that Southwest Farmington Road remains closed between Jacktown Road and Clark Hill Road for an ongoing fatal crash investigation. More details on that coming up in a bit. But in terms of your traffic impact, the road is closed, and your best detour at this point is going to be Rosedale to the north or Tile Flat Road down to the south. The Clark County commute busy at I-5 at SR14, of course. We'll switch gears and I'll show you. That's probably our slowest stretch of freeway right now, and it's not bad. 16 minutes gets you from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge. There's a live look at the sunset. Other drive times, again, starting to inch upward, but so far no major unexpected freeway delays out there just yet, guys.
Thank you, Chris.
I kind of prepared myself for it. People kind of told me what to expect. And it was saddening, it was unfortunate.
Still to come here on Sunrise. Police in Gresham investigating 2 fires they say were intentionally set, while they may also think these fires are related. And did you know this? Yesterday was apparently the shortest day of the year. I still don't understand what that, wasn't yesterday like today, 24 hours long?
Apparently not.
How are some days shorter than others? We will explain when Sunrise, streaming live at 7 o'clock, continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I think of spinning planets in orbit around their host star as pirouetting dancers in a cosmic ballet, choreographed by the forces of gravity.
Poetic.
What did he just say? Did you know that yesterday was officially the shortest day of the year and perhaps one of the shortest days in history? I am still trying to wrap my head around this. I thought every day was 24 hours long, but yes, they're saying yesterday was perhaps the shortest day ever. Scientists say it has something to do with how fast the Earth is spinning right now. They say that after decades of the Earth's rotation slowing down, it's now spinning slightly faster, and that faster rotation means shorter days. So what the heck is causing the Earth to spin faster?
Migrating animals. Oh, earthquakes! Oh my gosh! Point is, there's any one of a dozen things, forces, that can change the rotation of Earth at any given time. And all the timekeeping folks do is track. Are we gaining time or losing time?
Hello.
Pardon me?
His shirt was...
That's okay. That's okay.
was
That's okay.
buttoned.
That's okay. Moving on
Very
to the
low.
story. We usually gain time, by the way. And in the past, we've made up for gaining time by putting on leap seconds into the year. I guess in the calendar year, you've got your leap days, you've got your leap seconds. 27 seconds have actually been added since 1972. But for the first time in history, more than a millisecond was actually taken away from the clock yesterday. Do you know how short a millisecond is?
I don't know if that last part's correct or not, but I say that because I've been reading on this, and there's been several days in the last decade plus, several days, where this has happened, where we've lost like a millionth of 1 second or something like that. And each time it was like, this is the shortest day, and now this last one is shorter than the last previous ones that they've been watching. And if you read deep into it, it comes up, does this have something to do with what's going on at the inner core of the planet?
Yeah.
Or is it the gravitational pull of the moon? And ultimately, the articles I've read, scientists really aren't positive. But obviously, it usually takes 24 hours to spin, and that goes from day to darkness, and that's where we get
One thing that we can be positive about is he's the smartest one.
Yeah. Well, no,
of the three.
I have all these journals that I subscribe to, and I read them, and these articles pop up.
Exhibit A.
I thought you were about to say, I have all these big brain cells that I like to flex once in a while, and here I go.
That too.
But it's fascinating, right?
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
I could listen to you talk about it all day.
I'm going to go to the weather wall, but what fascinates me the most about this, Mr. Carney,
yes,
is that we have people smart enough to even keep track of this stuff and realize it's going on. That's just, wow. All right. We are keeping track of next week. Heat ridge, heat dome, big strong area of high pressure, however you like to call it. The double H's here are going to sit over the west for a handful of days. Remember some time ago, a couple weeks back, we had the big heat wave that hit the Midwest and it was on the East Coast and made national news. Well, next week, all of the heat settles out here in the western U.S. And we think we have 2 days where it's at least mid-90s to maybe 100 to 101. Those 2 days right now time out to be Tuesday and Wednesday. So already throwing out the KGW weather impact alert, giving you plenty of time to maybe plan your itinerary next week around the heat of Tuesday and Wednesday. Exhaustion, heat stroke, 96 to 101 is what we're thinking right now. You could make the argument it's going to be even higher than 101. Shade, water, sunscreen, checking on folks without AC. Again, that's Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. I had a report, somebody texted us saying, hey, we're in Estacada, and the cloudiness we have up in the Cascade foothills has actually been producing a touch of moisture this morning. Radar's been picking up some light stuff out of the clouds up in Washington, but nothing here in Oregon. Doesn't mean radar's right, of course. Timberline Lodge, clear skies up over all the clouds, 45 degrees. You drop in elevation, so we had that report in Estacada. It's lower, but somewhat in proximity to Welch's, which is at 1,500 feet, and that's low clouds, and that shows maybe there could be some light moisture that's come out of those clouds. That's the Mount Hood, Oregon Resort Golf Course. Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood, the barn shot, I like to call it, 63 degrees with cloudy skies. It's been an interesting morning because we've had a gap of clearness work through, but now most of our cameras are back to showing cloudy skies, including downtown Portland, where it's 63. 60 up in Kelso, 59 in Bend. Dense fog advisory if you're just joining us up and down the coast. Newport 55, now Stories at 56. So this is a day that we think we become mostly sunny, and that would put you folks in Salem and Corvallis and McMinnville up into the 80s, 82, 84. Southwest Washington, perhaps holding in the 70s with sunny skies developing during the day. We've got Portland at 79, really comfortable. Yesterday we did hit 80, but clearly yesterday and today, the two comfy days. Tomorrow, sunny, 88, 88 Saturday, 92 Sunday. That's the beginning, and then here are the heat spike days, 98 Tuesday and 101 on Wednesday in red. All right, here's Chris.
Not fun. All right, let's get you south of town. I-5 into Wilsonville, a little slow coming up over the Boone Bridge to Wilsonville Road. I'm bringing this up, although, again, though, because yesterday the commute was actually really rough from Woodburn north of Wilsonville. I checked in with ODOT. There were no reported crashes, but there is ongoing construction north of the Woodburn area. It's still going on, will be going on all summer. But for today, the drive for now actually looks pretty good. This is the live look at Wilsonville Road. All right, back to the freeway drive on the west side. A little slow on the inbound Sunset. Tap of the brakes a bit coming down that. Whoop, lost the camera. Sorry for that. We're a little slow coming down the hill from the zoo into the Vistage Zone. And our slowest stretch of freeway right now, I-5. From Main Street to the Fremont Bridge, that tracks along in about 20 minutes or so. Sunrise rolls on after this break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Investigators are looking into two fires in Gresham that they think were intentionally set and possibly related. The fires happened just across the street from each other. Two windows were broken at both scenes, and whoever set those fires did so through a window from the outside. Here's KGW's Celine Stevens with more from Gresham.
This is really, in a lot of ways, the best worst case scenario. Had our intern not showed up as early as she did and make that phone call, my understanding is minutes really matter with fire.
Fires set just hours apart are now the focus of an investigation in Gresham. Both broke out early Tuesday morning within steps of each other, and investigators believe they were intentionally set. The first fire was reported just before 5 a.m. at the East Portland Moose Lodge.
It's a real shame that this happened because this is an excellent club and that helps people.
Gresham and Portland fire crews responded. Then around 9 a.m., they were called back to Columbia View Church.
Gresham and Portland Fire responded very quickly, found a fire that's in this room right here. This window was smashed out, fire had started, and they were able to put it out quite quickly, but there is a total loss in that room.
The room filled with toys and tools used for fun community events.
I kind of prepared myself for it. People kind of told me what to expect. And it was saddening, it was unfortunate.
That room had all kinds of lawn maintenance equipment and general storage items, and the fire was up into the roof at that time. So luckily it was caught when it was.
Investigators say both fires have similarities.
We believe they are both so similar, with broken windows, 2 on each building, fire set through the window from the exterior. So that's why we're tying those two together.
Now the investigation is focused on finding out who's responsible and why.
How sad it is that there's folks in our community that, for whatever reason, have become so isolated and so kind of disenfranchised or whatever that this would even happen, right? It's a tragedy.
I hope that the person that has done these two things to the church and to this organization is helped and they are caught.
Again, that was Celine Stevens reporting for us this morning. By the way, both the church and the lodge are open for business and services as usual. Gresham Fire, meanwhile, is asking anyone that saw anything in the area of Northeast Halsey Tuesday morning between 4:30 and 10 a.m. to give them a call.
We need to make some decisions about how we work with the federal administration.
Coming up in our next half hour of Sunrise, Portland City leaders with some decisions to make to meet the Trump administration's expectations for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. They say it really comes down to pulling the plug on those programs or losing millions of dollars in federal grants. Plus, global markets react to the president's latest round of tariffs. We'll have everything you need to know coming up in today's consumer headlines.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even...
We are coming up on 7:29 on a Thursday morning drive. We pick it up with a traffic alert in Washington County. This is a live look from Southwest Farmington Road, where the Washington County Sheriff is ongoing with a fatal crash investigation. This is near Clark Hill Road. The road closed right now in that vicinity, so your traffic solution is going to be either tile flat or perhaps Rosedale Road to get around that. So we'll keep you posted on that, but that remains closed at this point. There's the I-5 drive from Clark County. That's plugged up on that side of the interstate bridge, and that's actually one of our slower drives. Elsewhere, the drive times are picking up a little bit, but nothing too out of whack. No major freeway trouble out there just yet. Rod?
Thank you. It's been an interesting morning. We were cloudy, then we were kind of sunny. Now we're back to being mainly cloudy across the valley. Our live look down at Salem, 65 degrees. Here's our Rose City camera looking north up I-5 from downtown. 63 is the temperature out the door. This will be a day that stays comfortable with increasing sunshine. 71 at noon, 79 at 5 p.m. So really nice weather. Quite a bit warmer tomorrow. 88 on Friday, and issuing an alert for heat next week.
It is 7:30. It is Thursday, but it's not just any Thursday. It's also National Kitten Day. So that was our excuse for heading out to the Oregon Humane Society's Northeast Portland shelter. We're showing off some cute kittens and cats that are available for adoption, including Charlotte there. What's up, Charlotte?
Aww.
Good morning, Charlotte. Could use a
Bring the Catmobile here.
You know,
I asked.
Around all over the.
I asked.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, China wanted the cats in the studio. Instead, the studio went to the Humane Society shelter.
But you guys are bringing some of your cats here with us with your photos. We wanted to see them. So here's some pictures that we got from you. Here's Little Bit, 17 years old.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a mustache of wisdom right there. This is from Lucy from Lexington, Washington. And last but certainly not least, meet Bento. Cute little Bento, which belongs to our Sunrise editor, Zach's parents.
I love Zach.
Oh, you do love Zach. We love Zach.
Yeah.
But hey, send your pictures of your cute kittens to the number there on your screen, 503-226-5888, and we will show them on air.
All right. Little Bit had a ton of whiskers that China made reference to, but really a lot of whiskers.
Wisdom whiskers.
I mean, he's had 17 years to grow those whiskers out, so there you go.
17 times 9.
Distinctive.
17 times 9?
Yeah.
170, 161.
So he's 161-year-olds in cat
right?
years.
That's not right.
Is that not right?
Cats live 9 years for every human year. That's.
I said 161. 17 times 9?
Yeah, what is it?
153.
163. Yeah.
Close.
153.
Bless his heart.
I was off by.
It's good enough to be a meteorologist.
I was off by 8.
It's close enough for government work, as they say. All right, here's a look at our Salem tasting room camera. We have a nice morning. It's been varying cloud cover. Right now, it's being reported as mostly cloudy up and down the valley. We have a dense fog advisory for you folks at the coast up until 11, and you may be getting some mist at the beach, 63. We've also had at least one report of the clouds dropping a little bit of moisture in some of the Cascade foothill areas. Otherwise, this is dry once you get inland. And we have clouds over downtown, 63 from our Rose City camera. Here's the forecast moving forward. I think we'll be noticeably sunny at noon, 71. And I have today's high getting up to about 79, making for a very nice, very comfortable day. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. I want to pick it up in Washington County with an ongoing traffic alert. Overnight, early this morning, a car left the road on Southwest Farmington Road. You can see TVF&R still out there on the scene. The Washington County Sheriff out there as well with an ongoing crash investigation. So what we know is that one person in that vehicle has been killed in that crash, and Southwest Farmington Road right now is closed between Jacktown Road and Clark Hill Road. So your traffic solution to get around that at this point continues to be either maybe Rosedale to the north or Tile Flat Road to the south. Here's your freeway drive live out of Clark County. It's busy, of course. I-5 southbound puttering along at the Interstate Bridge. That's a 20-minute commute to get you in from Main Street south to I-405. We'll switch gears real quick. A couple of other slow spots as we zoom around the freeway system. Door number 3 takes us to the Sunset, riding the brake a little bit, coming down the hill from the zoo as well. At last check, 21 minutes get you in from Hillsborough to the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Drew?
All right, sounds good, Chris. Top story here at 7:30. Portland leaders have decisions to make after the Trump administration told cities all across the country they have to either get rid of their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies or run the risk of losing federal grant money.
The city has to affirm that it will follow all terms and conditions tied to the federal funding grants, which make up a portion of the city's budget. Emma McCarty explains.
We get a lot of federal grants, about $180
$4 million a year on the whole. They're primarily in housing, transportation. There's a lot in the public safety sphere as well.
And a new fiscal year paired with a new administration, presenting new challenges to the city of Portland.
We found out just in the last week that we now have the first grants coming forward where we need to make some decisions about how we work with the federal administration.
On Wednesday, City Administrator Michael Jordan released a statement alluding to these decisions and how to respond, writing, in part, executive orders signed by President Donald J. Trump have reshaped the legal landscape for cities that operate programs focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. In particular, the federal government could withhold grants from cities whose DEI initiatives are out of compliance with the executive orders. He says the city currently manages 126 active federal grants totaling $387 million. And last year alone, Portland was awarded $98 million in federal grants.
We now need to look at the really important programs that those grants fund, and also the really important programs that the federal government isn't happy with, and figure out how we do our best to serve Portlanders.
Exactly how the city will respond remains to be seen. We spoke with Council President Ilana Pertolgini and Councilor Samir Kanal.
Sometimes that's called DEI, sometimes it's called inclusion, sometimes it's called making sure we're bringing everybody up as we do the work. That's what we need to be doing moving forward. That's part of Portland's values and Council's values. And if the Trump administration disagrees with that, I don't know what to tell them.
And we know what our values are and what our community's values are. And we care about making sure that we are not backsliding on equity and not making sure that we're not going to sell out any of our communities.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Oregon schools could lose more than $73 million after the U.S. Department of Education cut several grants. So the local cuts are part of nearly $7 billion that the Trump administration is withholding nationwide from after-school programs, summer programs, and English language instruction. Over $20 million funds migrant education in Oregon, with another $20 million targeting student achievement. In a statement, the Oregon Education Department says cutting these programs would undermine efforts to close opportunity gaps and support vulnerable students.
We're also keeping an eye on upcoming cuts to Medicaid as parts of President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill and what they could mean for Oregonians. So more than 1 million people in Oregon rely on Medicaid for health coverage. That includes 70% of children in rural areas. On the 4th of July, President Trump signed the bill into law, which includes about $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid. Last night on The Story, we heard from CEO of Care Oregon, a nonprofit that provides health insurance services. He spoke to our Blair Best about what people should do before the cuts happen.
The first thing is to try to make sure they don't lose coverage, right? Because a lot of the hassles will be administrative, that we have to make sure that people keep their addresses up to date with the Oregon Health Authority and with the state, that they pay attention and work with community partners and companies like Care Oregon and other coordinated care organizations to make sure that they're paying attention to the timing of these things. So if there are work requirements, if there are eligibility renewals they need to do, they're taking care of that in advance.
Now, these cuts aren't happening right away. The New York Times created a timeline that indicates Medicaid and SNAP work requirements would begin in 2026, while additional funding changes would be delayed until 2028. To see their full conversation, you can watch last night's episode of The Story anytime on our free TV app, KGW+.
Washington Governor Bob Ferguson is pushing back against the loss of federal dollars for Planned Parenthood. President Trump's spending bill pauses the organization's Medicaid funding for 1 year. So as a short-term solution, Governor Ferguson announced that the state is going to backfill Planned Parenthood's lost funding of about $11 million by drawing a fraction of a percent from the state health care authority's budget. But he also said that will not be enough if bigger cuts go through.
We're talking billions of dollars every single year, billions of dollars. The state of Washington does not have billions of dollars lying around to backfill those, and we are not alone.
Planned Parenthood is one of the largest Medicaid providers in the state of Washington, offering people cancer screenings, birth control, and preventative care. Federal law already bans the use of Medicaid for abortions.
Your time now is 7:38. It is that time of year. Emerald ash borers are popping up across Oregon. If you didn't know what this is, I looked this up, went through a little rabbit hole here. It's very interesting. So forestry officials, they want you to keep an eye out for them. These tiny metallic green beetles are tough to spot, but they've killed millions of ash trees across the country. They look mean, vicious. Some signs to look out for include yellowing leaves, splitting bark, or D-shaped holes in trees. If you think that you've seen one, snap a photo and report it online at OregonAB.com or call 1-866-INVADER. So I actually Googled how it destroys trees, and I assume it's the one that said they pull off like the outside, and it looks like a maze. Like they just eat these little mazes in the trees. It's fascinating. Horrible, but fascinating.
Wow. It looks
Emerald ash borer.
Yeah.
Looks like they just can't spray for them, because my point is because they took that entire tree down in the video.
You ask questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
That I
don't
don't
have
know.
the answers to.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
no, but you're right. That tree did go down in that video.
Very
Goodbye.
serious problem, obviously. Thank you very much. Here's a look at a dense fog advisory along the coast, Nook Winds Casino Resort. Camera and probably some misty spots. This dense fog advisory for the beaches in effect from the Weather Service until 11 a.m. this morning, and then partial clearing is expected for you folks. Here's downtown Portland. This is on the east side, I should say, from Providence. No, we're on the west side, aren't we, Rod? Yeah, I'll get my directions straight. The west side, looking up at the West Hills, just like a block from where I'm standing here at KGW TV from Providence Park. Temperature 61 degrees outside. So we've had an interesting morning. We've been cloudy, then it was kind of sunny, and now it's back to being cloudy. This will be a day that eventually just becomes mostly sunny. But for now, 60 up in Battleground. Most areas are reporting some cloud cover. Sandy, good morning. 62 for you. It's 65 down in Albany, and that matches our capital city at 65. Findlay and Lois, I love this picture. This is really fun stuff, all dressed up, I'm going to say, for our show. Use the email address dogoftheday@kgw.com, and your dogs will be our dog of the day when you send us your photo and your dog or dogs' names. All right, so partial clearing at the beach in the 60s. Becoming mostly sunny up and down I-5. Generally, we'll be somewhere close to 80. Warmer as you drop down south. This shows Albany 84, Eugene 85. Mid-80s. It's clear right now in Central Oregon. A beautiful day for you folks in Bend. Sun River 82. And then nobody expected to be 90. This shows Pendleton 87. There are 0 alerts for our state except for that dense fog advisory this morning at the coast. We start to warm up tomorrow, so enjoy today. Tomorrow's sunny 88. Same on Saturday, 92 Sunday. We're already alerting you to a growing confidence of the hottest weather we have seen so far this summer arriving next week. Tuesday, 98, 101 on Wednesday. Right now, the following Thursday, day 8, if you will, looks like it drops back down to 90 or perhaps into the 80s. Here's Chris.
Going to be splashing at the splash pad. Let's pick it up down in Tualatin. We've got a traffic alert right now on I-5 northbound. It looks like a couple of cars were tangled up in this crash. The northbound left, and it looks like maybe the left center lane blocked. It's 4 lanes right there where it splits to I-205, and you can see the northbound I-5 commute now starting to slow pretty significantly around this. We'll keep you posted. Again, the drive from Wilsonville ticking up a bit to 35 minutes now from Wilsonville Road into downtown. The drive out of Clark County, slow and steady, southbound from SR 500. Right now, that's about a 22-minute commute from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. And out over on the west side, this is a live look right now at Southwest Farmington Road. Again, if you're just joining us, Southwest Farmington has been closed for much of the morning because of an ongoing fatal crash investigation. That closure is between Jacktown Road and Clark Hill Road. At this point, your best detour to get around that, Rosedale to the north and Tile Flat to the south. We'll keep you posted. Drew?
All right, yeah, lots to keep an eye on there, Chris. Thank you for that update. We're also having some fun this morning with the kittens and the cats over at the Oregon Humane Society's Northeast Portland shelter. It is National Kitten Day, so we will have more on adoptable kittens at the shelter, and we'll also share more pictures of your cats and kittens. All that coming up when Sunrise continues live here at 7 o'clock after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Cute! Yes, that's right, China. It is the cute segment of the morning. Today is National Kitten Day, so we asked you to send us pictures of your favorite feline friends. This first one is named Meow, a cat named Meow. And then this next cat from one of our viewers is named Milo. Meow and Milo showing up this morning here on the Sunrise Show. And our next stop this morning is the Oregon Humane Society. We've been out there all morning long showing off some of the cats and kittens that are currently available for adoption. Laura Klink, we're going to bring you back into the mix here. I asked you, Laura, tough job I know to hold the cat and talk at the same time, but who do you have there? Who are you about to put down?
This is... This is Buttercup, the shoulder climber. Buttercup came to us from Multnomah County Animal Services, and he and Bubbles, his more chill sibling, are almost ready for adoption. And we're really proud of the relationship that we have with other shelters around the state, particularly Multnomah County Animal Services. It really takes a village to help all these cats and kittens during kitten season.
You are a trained professional, Laura. You've been in the broadcast business as well for many years. Why would you choose to pick up the more aggressive, friskier cat than the one who's so chill?
You know, what can I say? I like a challenge. But, you know, this is a great time of year to adopt because when you have a chill and feisty kitten together, it's a really lovely combination because they keep each other company and they keep each other active. So, you know, I always like the feisty one, but I love the little chill babies too.
Laura, this is the second hour you're on with us. I promised last hour that we would talk about some of the services that the Humane Society provides once you go through the adoption process, because that's really just the first part of the process.
Yeah, so here at Oregon Humane Society, there's so many things that happen behind the scenes to get these guys ready for adoption. So a lot of our kittens have spent time in foster care because often kittens will come to us too young or maybe not healthy enough to be available for adoption. So like little Buttercup here, he spent some time in foster care after coming to us from Multnomah County Animal Services, got vaccines, a microchip, spayed and neutered. So that's just before the adoption. So then after adoption, we have a whole range of services to help you and your pet have a successful relationship and help with that bonding process. Our community veterinary hospital is right next door here to our Portland campus. And when you adopt, our customer care folks will help you set up your first appointment at the community veterinary hospital. So that's a great bonus to adopting from OHS. Down in Salem at our Salem campus, we have a relationship with VCA vet clinics. So when you adopt down at our Salem campus, you get a free appointment at participating VCA locations. And I know you might not think you can train a cat or kitten, but you can. And our training and behavior department has a bunch of really awesome virtual classes that can help you learn about kitten behavior. And then we actually have one to teach your cat clicker training. So yes, you can in fact train a cat and kitten. And OHS has lots of programs and services to help you guys have a successful relationship. We want these adoptions to be, you know, for life and to be successful, and really solidifying that human-animal bond is such an important part of what we do.
Laura, you have been an excellent spokesperson for many years for the Oregon Humane Society. We're going to close out this segment by taking one more close shot of the cat there that you're holding, and remind our viewers that yes, you can find a forever friend, a cat or a kitten, and quite frankly, dogs too, at the Oregon Humane Society right now. It's OregonHumane.org for more information. Rod, China, it is National Kitten Day.
I think I found my forever friends.
Ah, okay.
They're watching at home.
Boy,
bam, pulled us
reeled
in and then dropped us.
That was brutal. I actually fell for it.
You know, I'm just going to go over there with you, Rod.
Yeah, come on over to the weather center.
Oh, come
I feel
on,
like
guys.
this is
Weather wall.
It's a little safer over here, maybe.
Oh, yeah, it's nice
Safer,
over
yeah,
here, right?
this is nice.
This is where friends hang out, man.
What's going on behind here?
Bitter.
Oh, this is really nice back here.
Oh, it's terrific. That the back piece of plywood back there is really lovely to look at. All right, there he goes, ladies and gentlemen, the Drew Carney. Next week, we've been watching this for a while. I've kind of mentioned it off the cuff a little bit in the last handful of days, but growing confidence that the heat of our country will settle out west next week, and in particular next Tuesday and Wednesday. This is an air mass map showing you the hottest weather in red and orange, and we're kind of on the periphery of that bubble. Here it is on a weather map, upper level map at 500 millibars or 18,000 feet, showing the heat dome next week or the high pressure ridge out west, with hot weather rising up into British Columbia. And we think for us on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're at least going to be mid-90s, and we could see maybe a 98 or a 100 or a 101 temperature. So already putting out the KGW weather impact alert for hot weather planning, if you will, for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Exhaustion, heat stroke, 96 to 101 temps, shade, water, sunscreen. Identifying maybe some friends that will need to cool down if they don't have AC and you do, that type of thing. Or maybe you want to beat the rush if you don't have AC and you need a better fan, beat the rush to the hardware store and pick up some cooling devices. Here's a look at what's going on today. We have dense fog advisory at the coast. That's the only advisory today. Otherwise, temperatures inland will be comfortable. So no heat advisories, no thunderstorm threat, no red flag warnings today. So that's all in the good news category. And generally traveling is easy peasy, minus dense fog banks at the coast, which we've been showing you. I want to show you the clear sky areas. You get up high and it's clear. That's Mount Hood, temperature 47 degrees. You're popping over the Cascades into Central Oregon. Here's Sun River Resort, the back of their main resort lodge. And there's Bachelor sticking up, just a beautiful sunny day. Sun River will be up to about 80. It's very similar temperature in Sun River today to what we'll have here in Portland, by the way. 60 in Kelso, 67 up in Seattle. It's pretty much mostly cloudy up and down I-5 right now. Then it's all clear east of the Cascades, 59 out in Baker City and Burns. Our forecast numbers for today. So the dense fog advisory until 11 a.m. at the beach. Partial clearing expected. High temps in the 60s, generally light winds. Cloudiness out there now. We think this turns into a developing mostly sunny day. This shows 83 in McMinnville, 84 in Salem. Temperatures in Southwest Washington, a similar setup, but not as warm. Looks like about 79 degrees on Battleground, and the same temperature expected in Portland and Vancouver. Tomorrow, sunny. I had 90. I've lowered that to 88. So a couple of days nearing 90 tomorrow and Saturday. So much warmer. And then 92 Sunday, 90 Monday, and what we talked about just a couple of minutes ago, 98 Tuesday, and maybe as hot as 101 on Wednesday. We would cool, it looks like, on that Thursday that follows. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks. We pick it up with a traffic alert in Tualatin. A 4-mile backup now on I-5 northbound because of this. A couple cars tangled up in this wreck on I-5 northbound right at the 205 interchange. That over there, you see where that semi is going. That's the ramp to 205 north. So traffic, again, quickly stacking up about 4 miles or so around this. I'll switch gears. Door number 2 takes us back towards Wilsonville Road. And you can see, again, we are slow and go now all the way back towards the Boone Bridge. So that traffic is building really, really quickly here. Let's get a look at that drive time right now. In from Wilsonville Road, it's jumped up to nearly 40 minutes at last check. Also, on the west side, this is a live look from Southwest Farmington Road, the scene of a fatal crash. The Washington County Sheriff's Office reporting early this morning around 2:30, a car left the road, ran into a tree. They were reporting that the driver was deceased at the scene, and right now the traffic impact is that Southwest Farmington remains closed from Jacktown Road to Clark Hill Road. So your traffic solution to get around this: Rosedale to the north, Tile Flat to the south. We'll keep you posted as the streaming hours of KGW Plus roll on.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
This morning, global markets are reacting to the latest round of tariff threats after President Trump sent more letters to countries urging deals with the U.S. by August 1st.
NBC's Alice Barr brings us more on this from Washington, D.C.
This afternoon or tomorrow morning.
President Trump reigniting trade tensions with a new series of letters to trading partners imposing tariffs from 20% on imports from the Philippines up to 50% on Brazil.
Brazil, as an example, has been not good to us, not good at all.
The president acknowledging politics played a role in the hefty Brazil tariff, pointing to the prosecution of his ally, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, for attempting to hold on to power after losing Brazil's 2022 election, calling the trial a witch hunt that should end immediately. President Trump has drawn parallels to his own criminal charges after losing the 2020 election that were dropped when he won in November. Brazil's current president saying the country will not accept being abused and will respond to the tariffs. As President Trump also said the U.S. has a trade deficit with Brazil, when the U.S. Trade Representative says it was actually a surplus for the U.S. last year. The president asked how his administration arrived at the new tariff rates.
The formula was a formula based on common sense, based on deficits, based on how we've been treated over the years.
The Senate's top Democrat slamming President Trump for not delivering on his promised 90 trade deals in 90 days.
He kicks the can down the road again and again. He talks a big game but shows little follow-through or strategic understanding.
As the president asserts setting tariffs by letter is a more efficient means to a deal. The new tariff rates are set to take effect August 1st, along with a separate 50% tariff on copper, which President Trump said is the second most used material by the Defense Department, vowing that America will build a dominant copper industry. Though in the meantime, Americans could see prices go up for products like appliances and electric vehicles. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the latest on multiple fires burning across the region as crews work to keep them contained and mop up hotspots.
We're also going to hear from a survivor of the deadly floods in Texas and the small miracle he says he found when he finally got to go back home. Those stories and much more, including Rod's forecast, coming your way here at 8 o'clock right here on KGW.